Hey my lovelies. So my name is Sophie and this is my new channel, Books by Suds. So I'm really excited to meet you all and tell you a little bit more about myself. As I already said, my name is Sophie. Nice to meet you. Hello. This channel is really for me going to be about mainly books, as you can gather from the title. I love books. I always have. They've been a safe haven for me. And I know that that's a similar thing for a lot of other people. So I just want to be able to share my joy of books with you guys and hopefully you enjoy. I guess in terms of genres, I really love anything fiction, anything fantasy, less so more towards the sci-fi. I guess I haven't really delved into that too much, but I'm sure it would be a similar sort of vibe to all the fantasy stuff that I go for, so maybe I could delve into that at some point. Maybe that'd be an interesting new video to do. I love those. I love contemporaries. I love a little bit of love stories, kind of just a motley crew of everything really. I'm really excited to be starting this channel and getting to know you guys as well. So leave in your comments below what your favorite genres are and just a little hey, because I'd love to meet you and get to know you. So if you could do that, that'd be amazing, and like and subscribe as well. That would be great. So for me, at the moment, my reading goal for this year is 30 books. So last year it was 30 books as well. And I got to 28. I was so close. I was so close. It was so annoying. I was like, oh my God, surely I can just read 2 books before the end of the year, but I only had a week left and it didn't happen. So we're going for 30 this year and we're going to get 30 this year. I've already read 2. So I read Beautiful Wellwood, Where Are You? By Sally Rooney. And then I read Love Stories by Trent Dalton, which I will have a separate video talking about those. That will be my accumulation of books that I've read throughout January. So get excited for that. But right now I'm reading The House on the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, which I have wanted to read forever from all of the other booktubes that I watch and bookstagrams that I follow as well. Everyone has said House on the Cerulean Sea, House on the Cerulean Sea. Read it. It's the best. So finally, I got a readings voucher and I was like, you know what? House on the Cerulean Sea. Everyone said it's amazing. I'm gonna have to get it. So I'm reading that at the moment. I'm really loving the world that he's building and the characters are really developing. It's so interesting. I love the magic element. I love anything with magic. So that's great. I really hope to hear about you in the comments. As I said, I have so many ideas for new videos and things that I can just push out, and I hope that you guys love it and really engage, because that would be amazing. But for this video, I would like to talk about the 6 books that were my top books for 2021. So I know it's a little bit late, but I thought what a way to start the year, start the channel with a little favorites haul of, as I said, the 6 books that were my favorites in 2021. So the first book that I've got for this today is The Night Circus. I had seen, it was pretty much a similar thing as The House on the Cerulean Sea, whereas I'd seen it on everyone was recommending it. And I always get a little nervous with books that have hype, because you never know whether it just has hype because it has hype or if it actually is really good. So I was a little bit nervous, but everyone has been talking about it and I thought, all right, I'm gonna have to give it a go. So finally gave it a go and I'm so glad I did. It is the most mystical, magical, beautiful story. It's about love, it's about heartache, it's about magic. It's just this beautiful contest revolved around this wonderful magical circus, which it doesn't just, I think the thing I love about it is that it doesn't just talk about the people in the circus. It talks about the love of the circus from people outside of the circus, like the fans, which becomes a really big culture of the book. And I think that's such an important aspect of it as well. Like, you can't have an amazing circus, or you can't have an amazing show, you can't have an amazing concert, you can't have celebrities and things like that without the fans. Without the fans, how does it continue and how does it gain popularity? It can't. So I think that was a really lovely aspect, and Erin Morgenstern's writing is just beautiful. It's just beautiful. She has all of these parts where, like, no spoilers, obviously, but she has these parts in the book where she's got like these little subsections, which are kind of like, honestly, it's just like a little snippet of poetry almost every time, which is beautiful. And it gives you, like, throughout the book, you feel so encapsulated, but I think each different section of those little sort of snippets tells you a little bit more about different sections in the circus, and just delves you even deeper into the beautiful world that is the night circus. And yeah, I could not recommend it enough. Definitely not hyped for hype's sake. It's just brilliant. So definitely pick that one up if you haven't already. But yes, love, love, love. My second book for the favorites of 2021 is The Nickel Boys. This one is just, it's harrowing, it's eye-opening, it's something that, like, when people say something should be part of curriculum in schools and things like that, something should be part of curriculums in school and things like that. I think it has a couple of trigger warnings. It has a few things that are really hard to read, but really important to read. So definitely not a curriculum for younger students or anything like that, even maybe university or at least year 12, 11, but it's just beautiful. In the writing, it's beautiful. I hesitate to say beautiful because it is such a tragic and intense and important story about racism and just prejudice and a whole bunch of different things that are super important, that I think a lot of people would get a lot of reward from reading about. And just a bigger view and a better view of our world and what our world used to be, and how things like this are still going on and how they definitely shouldn't be. But it's beautiful. It's gut-wrenching. The ending, I did not see coming and absolutely tore my heart out. So prepare yourselves for that. But Colson Whitehead has absolutely written a 5-star in my mind, and as you can see, it was the winner of the Pulitzer Prize in Fiction in 2020, so it's not just me who thinks it's good. Please pick this up, it's worthwhile. So the next book is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This one is by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I know she has a couple other books which I haven't actually delved into yet. I know she's got Daisy Jones and the Six, and I believe also I think Malibu Rising was also by her. I could be wrong. Please feel free to tell me so, but I believe so. And this is sort of my first foray into Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing and stories and novels. So I think it was the perfect choice. I read it so fast. I also, I finished it when I just come out from getting my wisdom teeth out. So if I can be slightly loopy on anesthesia and just be still reading it and still loving it and literally finishing it before I was allowed out of the hospital room, that says something about a good book, doesn't it? It's this story of Evelyn Hugo and basically her life, and you know, it's The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. When you read the title, your mind goes straight to, oh my god, 7 husbands, what's this woman been doing? It shouldn't, as it doesn't matter. Women should be allowed to do whatever they want. Definitely in those times, that wasn't a common thing. It talks about all throughout her life. There are so many twists and turns. It is I hope this isn't a spoiler, but the title is a bit misleading, but it's beautiful, and it's just, it has so many messages about so many different themes that just evoke sadness and happiness, and the writing is beautiful, the way it forays between the present and the past, as well as just diving between different characters. She does it really smoothly. You don't feel like you're being jolted between, or you don't know which character's speaking at what times. It is a really well done way of sort of going through different characters and different times without getting you really confused. A beautifully written novel. It is just something that I totally recommend. Please pick up. I know this one has also been really hyped, and it's definitely not hyped for hype's sake. It is so good. Very, very good. So I'm now going to talk about this monster. And it's not just a monster because it's huge and it's about 700 pages long, which is a massive book for me and for anyone really. It's a monster as well because of the content. It is a monster. It took me quite a while to read it, and I don't want that to deter anyone, and it might, but I hope it doesn't. But it took me quite a while to read because it does have quite a lot of trigger warnings about abuse and sexual assault and sort of just a whole bunch of things. But it is such a rich and raw look at these guys' lives in such depth and in such, like I said, it's just raw and it's visceral and it's beautiful but sad and tragic and horrible and life. It's life. It's just this inside look of these guys' lives that rips them apart, puts them back together, rips them apart, puts them back together. And there's no real other way of explaining it, but you need to read it. You need to read it. As I said, quite a few trigger warnings, and like I said, it will maybe take you a little bit longer to read. It took me a little bit longer to read just because it is heavy. It's heavy. It's really, really heavy. So worth it. So worth it. It took away so much from this. This was before my time of tabbing my books. So if I was tabbing my books at the time, so many tabs would be in this book. So many tabs. Maybe I'll read it again and finally tab it because there's just so many little chunks of gold in here. But yes, so just utterly devastatingly beautiful. So please pick it up. Worth it. A long read, but worth it. Very, very worth it. My second last book is Kafka on the Shore by Murakami. I didn't even know Murakami existed until last year, which says a lot about how much of a book nerd I am. I am a book nerd, I promise. I just obviously hadn't delved into this side of the world of reading, but I'm so glad that I did. It is just the most, it has its own magic. I don't know how to describe it other than it kind of has its own magic. Like it takes you on this journey where half the time you don't even know where you're going, and it has, fish raining down from the sky, and it has a whole bunch of other things. It has talking cats in it. It just becomes normal. Somehow he just makes the obscure normal, and he makes it so intriguing, and there's a message that comes with everything. And again, if I was tabbing things at the time, it would be so full of tabs. I wasn't tabbing things. I now am, as you probably saw with a couple of my other books, but this is just such a good read. I couldn't put it down. It's a little bit, at times it's a little bit, sometimes he has a few moments where you're like, oh, that's a bit maybe sexist a little bit, or I guess not sexist, but just the way he talks about women sometimes is a little bit in your face, but it's not much. And there's so much good in the book that it's kind of just something that I guess you can look past because of how much there is in the book that's amazing. So please pick this one up as well. I haven't really read any other. I started reading the Wind Up Bird Chronicles, which is also by Murakami. I haven't finished that one for some reason. I just couldn't get as into that one as the others. For me, it just didn't do it. It just wasn't for me, I guess, but that's okay. Maybe I'll give it another go or try and finish it a bit later. I haven't DNF'd it yet, but hopefully I can find another one that I really love of Murakami's, because if I love this one so much, surely there's going to be another. I've always wanted to read Norwegian Wood as well, or Norwegian Woods, one of those. But yes, great book. Pick it up if you can. It's really, really good. For my last book, I don't have it here. I actually lent it to my mum, so don't have it right now, but it is Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. It is just, I was in a massive reading slump for a time, more so sort of 2020, end of 2020, and then in 2021 early 2021 I picked up Girl, Woman, Other, and it just pulled me straight out of my reading slump. It will catch you off guard because there are completely no full stops in this book. There are no full stops, and it took me about a chapter or two to kind of get into the rhythm of reading and my brain sort of registering, all right, that's the end of the sentence, there's no full stops. But please don't let that deter you. Like I said, it only took me a chapter or two, and then you get into the rhythm and you don't even need them. But it was just so good. It's the story of all of these women accumulated into this one book. They're a little bit intertwined. It's kind of a little bit like a Love Actually kind of thing, where they're kind of somewhat intertwined into each person's stories, but they're really not main characters or anything. They're just distantly, you're like, oh, she's from the other story, or she's from this story, but it's not their brother and sister, or they end up in love. Like, it's just, they're a little bit intertwined in each other's lives. But it's just raw and beautiful and stunning. The writing, like I said, is new and different, and if you really are looking for something to bring you out of a reading slump and you want to try something different, then please give Bernardine Evaristo a go. I haven't read any of her other books. I would love to read some of her other books. I really plan to this year. But yeah, she's a brilliant writer, as I have gathered from this one novel. As I said, I cannot speak to her others, but I'm excited to try them and speak to them. But it will forever be a 5-star for me. I would also really like to reread it. I haven't really delved too much into rereading books, but I'm really kind of excited in this year and all the years I've got to go into sort of a bit more of rereading and understanding and sort of enveloping myself into a novel that feels like home, or feels like something that I've already read, because, I love watching movies again that I love, and it feels like I said, like home. It feels really lovely. So maybe that'll be a similar thing with novels. I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't delved into that, but I'm really excited to delve into that. So that was my 6 books from 2021 that were my favorites. Please also comment down below what your favorites were. If you have a video of your favorites, please link that down below. I would love to see it. I love to watch all YouTube videos revolving around books, or Instagrams. Just let me know. I will be following. Lovely to meet you all. I'm so excited for you to go on this journey with me and be a part of my channel's growth and just everything that's to come. So goodbye for now, but not forever. And please have a beautiful day, whatever time of day or night it is for you guys. But bye my bookworms, and I'll see you in the next video.